Alright, good afternoon. Today is Friday, September 12th, 2025. It's a meeting of the Acushnet Board of Selectmen. There's a motion to call the meeting to order.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
As a reminder, the meeting is being audio and video recorded. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, first item is we have two executive sessions, and then we come in for standard business. Executive session number 1 under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Subsection 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel staffing, and the chair so declares, and the board will return to public session at the conclusion of the executive session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Mr. Gasper?
Yes.
Mr. Hinckley?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Subsection A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, staffing. An open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, and the chair so declares, and the board will return to public session at the conclusion of the executive session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote. Mr. Gasper?
Yes.
Mr. Hinckley?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, and we will be going into executive session. We're in executive session. Is there a motion to go back into open session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Just gonna take a couple things out of order before we get into the sewer and water rates. We had a discussion about filling what was Kathy Silva's position. It's clear that we gotta carry out that function, not the time to start messing with job descriptions and that type of stuff. So getting, water rates and dealing with that is really important. So, gentlemen, what is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to advertise the position as business manager.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. So it'll be business manager, DPW, water and sewer, just to give it a little
Correct.
bit more.
Yes, sir.
Flavor. All right, good. All right, next item we've got is Police Assessment Center RFQ. There was a long process that we had to go through, right, Mr. Kelly? And now if you can just walk us through that, and then get into, I've got the sealed bids.
This is an RFQ for the assessment center for the police chief and actually the chair.
Oh, I
Police
know
chief
those things? Okay.
and the deputy chief. The first analysis is for the RFQ is of compliance and substantive as far as all the qualifications and a comparison thereof. And then there's a second opening of all of the price figures.
Okay.
We mailed out 10. We had 3 that refused to even meet. We have 2 that came in within the time frame for the RFQ. And of the 2, the board went through, did the matrix with staff for the RFQ comparison of all of the qualifications and all of the various demands of the RFQ. There is very little difference between Badge Quest and J. Parrow as far as their submission. It came down to whether there was a difference in the consensus scoring or the draft advertisement, which are very minor points. So it's, I would say they're 98% identical as far as their as far as their submissions. In fact, when you look at what they describe the exercises as being, it's identical, both submissions.
Okay. Very good.
So, and it's, they comply with all of the demands of the civil service.
Got it. Excellent. All right. Well, I guess we gotta go through these things. Open these up. This is quotes for assessment center services for the town of Acushnet. Price quotes J. Parrow. Okay. Again. J. Parrow, $7,500. I'm assuming these are all the same, right? They got
Yes.
multiple things.
That's for you to mail back Christmas cards.
Yep, so we'll do that to Mr. Kelly, $7,500 for J. Parrow.
Before the board leaves, if they could initial.
All right, and then this one is for Badge Quest. Okay, the bid for Badge Quest is for 5 candidates, $5,944. If it goes to 6 to 10 candidates, it's $7,944. Badge Quest. All right. Gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that I can make a motion to award the police chief and deputy chief's assessment center to Badge Quest.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for your due diligence and also for agreeing to have this meeting so we can get this process moving for the men and women of the department. We said we were going to move, and we are doing that. More to come, so stay tuned. All right, we got that done now. What we've all been waiting for, Dan, water and sewer rates.
Mr. Kelly, do we have to initial
Everyone or just one?
more than one, right?
Just what you have to initial the Parrow one and the Badge Quest one, just one copy
Just one
for the
copy.
file.
Okay. Which one's this one?
That's Badge Quest. That's the Parrow.
Oh, good, I'm done. There you go, I don't know what all that other stuff is. There you
These
go.
are the extra copies, so.
Okay.
All right. Did I give you those envelopes?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Menard,
All right, you guys
Mr.
want to
Gasper?
start with the water? I'm gonna recommend, number 4 on that one, increase of 50 cents. And that's kind of due to, we just got a 46 cents increase from the city of New Bedford.
All right. And just want to preface before we get into this, unfortunately, we're at the mercy of the city of New Bedford, right? So the
Correct.
water rates that we get, that we have to implement is because we get our water source from New Bedford. And I just want to make sure it's perfectly clear that people know that, right? All right, Mr. Gaspar, I know you're, any thoughts?
No, I mean, you just said water, right? And you want to go
Correct,
with
yeah.
option number 4?
Correct, which is a 50 cent increase.
Yeah.
On each
I
tier.
think what Mr. Menard just alluded to is correct. The city did go up 46 cents. Their increases have been quite exorbitant over the last several years, actually. And the board's been able to manage alongside of the DPW, Water and Sewer Department, to manage that rate increase as best we can, but we don't have much wiggle room when it comes to rate increase, so we gotta kind of stay in parallel, that minimum in parallel, and then any additional fixed costs to the budget, we have to offset that by rate increase as well. So we've been managing the budget as far as fixed costs, I would say, pretty damn well over the years. And we're gonna
Correct.
continue
If
to
we didn't
examine.
have to increase, we tried not to.
We'll be examining the budget year over year to see what we can do to try to hold back that increase on our side, but it's tough.
So we mail these out, right? The bills go out by a separate vendor.
Correct.
So if we want to put a letter in or something explaining, you know, can we do that? Is that, or can we put some message at the bottom of it that, you know, due to the city of New
Would you like
Bedford?
the letter that New Bedford sent us increasing the rates?
Something, I mean, something like that. I just feel like to let the residents know that this is why, some type of explanation, that if it's the copy of the letter that the city of New Bedford put in, then we can put something on there, or if it's on the bill, whatever it is,
Okay.
but I think that would make sense.
As long as it doesn't increase the postage.
Right. Well, and that's another question too. I know we use a different vendor from what we do our tax bills and all of our other mailings. You know, at some point, do we want to look into how we can just a single source? I would imagine that.
We are looking into that.
Okay.
We use, the deputy collector does the excise bills, tax bills are separate, and the DPW, water and sewer go out under separate vendors. But even if we do the bills with the same vendor, it would have to still be separate line items.
Yeah,
in the
that's fine.
budget.
But if you can negotiate a better, I don't know. Again, it's worth looking at. Maybe you can negotiate a better.
Yeah,
deal.
we were doing the analysis when we looked at this.
Okay, good, fair enough. All right, next is sewer.
Yep, okay, that one.
Do we have to make an actual motion?
Yeah, make a motion to accept Mr. Menard's recommendation on option 4 on the water, an increase of 50 cents
I'll second.
All those in favor?
on all tiers.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, on the sewer, steering towards option 1, which is also a 50-cent increase on sewer. And again, New Bedford had a 22-cent increase on that this year. So, to cover that as well.
So sewer's a little bit different because of we only run like a third of our water users are on sewer. We have roughly 1,000 sewer users. We have just over 3,000 water users. So of course, when you're looking at the equation, the increases are a little bit greater, and we did have some additional fixed costs and indirect costs when it comes to the sewer fund. And I put myself a note when I was going over all this stuff, and then I sat with Mr. Bernard and make sure that everything was going good. I mean, for every $12,000 increase, roughly $12,000 increase in fixed costs, the budget, the rate has to go up 20 cents. So it is a doozy, but again, it's what we can do. It's the best that we can do. And the city went up 23 cents on their rate, so yeah, we're going up a little bit more than that, but there are some fixed costs in the budget that we have to capture. The only way to do that is through rate. So we will be doing a better, I talked to Dan and I talked to Jamie Lynn, our assistant town accountant. I said, we really gotta look at this and start scrutinizing it because of what the city has been doing to us, right? And following that rate along. So we'll do, I think, I have enough confidence this year, we'll do a really good job in exploring all budget line items and scrutinize everything as much as we can. Hopefully next year we'll have a good grasp on what we're doing.
I guess while we're on the subject of sewer, I know past boards have talked about it, and Kevin, you were a big advocate of the CWMP, is that what it was
That's
called?
correct.
Just in passing, I think probably all of us at some point have talked to our colleagues in Fairhaven. I don't know if that's worth at some point a conversation about tapping into their sewer at the town line. There's opportunity for development in that area, whatever, so I don't know, it's just maybe worth a conversation down the road.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
back in the old days, I'll call it the Al Licatino days, we did have an interesting party that bought a parcel of land down there, and we did explore going with Fairhaven. We did talk to them. I mean, it's worth a conversation. That was probably a decade ago.
Mhm.
It's probably worth another conversation with them. just because of the ledge that you're going down this way. You're gonna hit a lot of it out in front of the quarry, so that's kind of like a hamper in that line going down. So we should probably have that conversation to see what's up, but the reason back then was because of the system, the accounting system and the munis system. The Mueller system couldn't handle doing two different things with two different rates. We might be
Actually,
able to.
I remember doing something, the rates are actually more expensive back then.
They are.
when we did that. It was more to go to Fairhaven than it was.
Got it.
New Bedford.
So we're on-
At that time, again, that was a lot.
Yeah.
So the city, we get a good rate, a decent rate from the city. They can't do to us what they do with water, which is an arbitrary number, commodity index is the way they bang us. They can't do that because we're tied to the city of New Bedford, and we have been since the early 70s through a federal grant that we applied for, and they used the town of Acushnet to jointly file for that grant. So we're tied, I believe legally, to that. Whatever they charge for their rate, they have to charge us for our rate because we were tied at the hip back then with that federal grant. And I have some information on that somewhere. I know I have that as well. But that history on that stuff. But it still warrants possibly a good conversation with Fairhaven to see what's up. I mean, I think that, trying to get through that ledge there's a lot.
I mean, there's a way to do like it would stink for those residents, but if you went from beyond the ledge.
No, that's what I'm saying. So if you came in,
Right.
if we went the other route, now you'd be coming from the Fairhaven line and you'd be working your way. So there's ledge everywhere, right?
Right.
The problem is that I know for a fact there's a massive swath of it, and that's why sewer stopped back a long time ago down there. Was it Pagod or Pembroke or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Okay. It stopped there for that reason because there's just massive. When we did the last phase up in here, the village area, we hit a lot of ledge. They had to come back. The Board of Public Works at that time had to come back. It wasn't a big increase, but there was an increase because of the way they did the borings, and it seemed like they did it all in the valleys and not at the peaks. But whatever, they found a lot more ledge. So going back to that earlier thing, Mr. Wona, it probably definitely warrants a conversation. We can go talk to New Bedford. Dan, you could probably just do something quick, reach out to the director over there, say, hey, what are your sewer rates? Right? You can't play with water because there's no way you'd shut down the system and redesign the system because you can't do that because you would have what the city would call cross-contamination in the system. They never allow that. But sewer, you can dead end it and run it in loops, and that might work too. So, we'd have to figure that out.
So we're doing, I'm just thinking, because we have so much going on, I don't want to be all over the place, but maybe once we get through town meeting and all that stuff, see if we can get maybe a joint meeting with the selectmen over there in Fairhaven. They're elected DPW, Brian Watton's we've worked with him on some other issues, they're really good, at Tootle Lane. And just do like a powwow, they've had some turnover on the board with town administrators, just get together, either here or at the Council on Aging, and because there may be some stuff that, we should brainstorm about that might warrant, last week I put Charlie Murphy in touch with I3 Broadband, and they're really excited about that, and because of Fairhaven, it makes it, the more towns we get involved with that stuff, the better it is. So anyway, maybe just so we stay focused on what we have in front of us, which is town meeting coming up in November, we can put this on our to-do list, start talking about some of these bigger picture things.
Absolutely.
All right,
Okay.
cool. All right, so thanks, Dan.
All right, have a good day.
So did we do a motion to adopt the sewer rate?
Motion to approve option 1 on the sewer rate, an increase of 50 cents.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All tiers. Right, Dan?
All tiers, yep.
All tiers, correct.
All right, I think that is it, and so our next meeting would be on the 23rd. Anything, gentlemen, under announcements?
Thank you, Dan.
Any of that stuff?
I think I'm good today, sir.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Carries.